Okay. Lookism. So, I know I am not at the current 2 episodes like I said I would get to before I would start reacting to again, but I decided, fuck it. I'm just gonna read it again on YouTube. So, the next video I will be uploading will indeed be my reaction to the next arc of the Lookism series that I'm up to date with. Now, I guess I should talk about how I felt during the arcs that you guys missed me reacting to. I think the last arc that I was doing on YouTube before the spoilers did it in, which was the entire reason why I stopped. This is going to be a part of the Lookism playlist reactions just for future sake. If somebody gets pissed about why there aren't that many, like, what's with the sudden jump way into the future, it's because I told my fans, like, if I got one more spoiler, one more, like, thing that happens majorly in the continuation of the plot, I would stop reacting to it until I got to current point. That way I cannot be spoiled. Because people kept telling me that I was going to lose faith in Jiho, and I didn't want to because I identified with him a little bit. But then, every arc, legitimately, where something was bad, I immediately blamed Jiho because somebody told me that. I legitimately was waiting for that because which made me discriminate against him in every arc, thinking that it was all his fault somehow. And then there was, like, a joke spoiler about him going to jail. And then somebody spoiled that, Zoe and Crystal were going to figure out his secret together. And so the one with, like, the fake spoiler, like the joke spoiler, was my last warning. If I got another spoiler, I was not going to react to it until I got to the last, like, the 2 most recent episodes. Then I was going to make a reaction video. But then I got a tweet at me on Twitter. I deleted the tweet that the person replied to with all the spoilers, so it's all gone. But I couldn't stop myself from looking at a couple, which was the Zoe and Crystal figuring out together, as well as another spoiler said one of Daniel's friends gets stabbed. I don't know which one, I can't remember which one it said, but it said that one of them gets stabbed and gets hospitalized for a long time. And that kind of pissed me off. And I made a video talking about that too, and about how I was gonna stop for now and pick it up later. But honestly, with how, but the reason why I'm picking this back up now is because for 2 major reasons. One, there's a shit ton of them left. And the other reason is because Lumin, which was another comic I'm reacting to, it has been on hiatus for over a month now, actually. And that's been pissing me off because it was at a major cliffhanger. But I understand the author got a new dog and she has to train it and all that stuff. But I need to. I need to start reacting to that and a bunch of other stuff. So right now, for Fridays until the end of the semester, which is sadly very, very quickly approaching, I'm going to be recording. Fridays are going to be recording day. No shit, I'm not joking. I'm on Fridays because I have the entire weekend to work on homework and all that other shit. I'm going to spend all of Friday night recording. As long as possible, until somebody comes home, which makes it a little harder for me to record. So, right. Back to what I was doing. I will talk about now it's time to talk about how I felt about a lot of the arcs that I didn't react to in Lookism on YouTube. Holy shit. The Stalker arc, the Cult arc, the frickin' Vasco's backstory arc. Ow! As well as I finally also got to the point where Jiho was the fucker, like, he was the dumbass. 'Cause it was all gambling. And apparently his character was so destroyed by that, he never hangs out with Daniel anymore. Well, you hardly see him hanging out with Daniel anymore. And even Store Daniel, which is the one you would like him to hang out with, the damn asshole only comes around the store when he needs something. And like Daniel said, and that pissed me off. A character I identified with how he always had to suffer, how he always had to deal with everybody else pushing him down. I relate to that, because I was a bully victim. And I was punished for being the bully victim. Which was bullshit. But I don't know. And his entire character regressed to now he's just a straight asshole. And now I hate him. But I would have been much more satisfied with my disappointment if it wasn't spoiled with me. So that kind of took away from it. That made me feel a little bit better in some weird way. But now to get back to some of the backstories that I saw, which were the backstories for Mira, Zach, and the other kid that was also in that story, as well as the whole backstory for Vasco. Vasco's bullying experience was it made me weep for him. It made me feel terrible for him. Because what happened in that arc was so unbelievably horrible that I just felt bad for him. And in case you guys don't remember, and for the rest of you who don't even want spoilers for what I've already spoiled about what actually happened so far and what I have read off screen, just click away from the video if you don't want any spoilers, if you're not already caught up all the way. Vasco's original name, his actual name is Ungtae, I think. I'm not sure. But he was like a special needs kid. He was like special. He wasn't as, he wasn't very social. He didn't know how to talk to people. That kind of kid. But what happened to him, it explains why he has tattoos. It's to cover up it was to remove the tattoos that somebody else forced upon him in a very poor manner. A student at a school legitimately gave him a phobia of sharp objects by putting terrible tattoos forcefully onto him and deep as shit. He put, like, shit face, a poop emoji, fucking loser on all over his body. He wrote with like the tattoo thing all over his body. And there was just, you can just see the scabs from all of those. And he developed a fear of sharp objects after that. But one guy came along and stopped the bullies, and did so that whenever he was ever mentioned again, everybody just stopped bullying him. Vasco immediately looked up to him and asked, like, how can I be as strong as you? And he made shit up. But what's weird is Vasco actually did it, and he did it so well that he became the Vasco that we know. And turns out, Vasco, where he got the name Vasco was from his friend's favorite superhero. Vasco is his friend's favorite superhero's actual name, and I thought that was so sweet and cute. Plus, we actually saw, like, the bullies who were torturing him in present day. They were about to torture Daniel, and then Vasco jumped in. They realized who the fuck he was, and was shocked. Surprisingly. But, yeah, there was a lot of other shit that went on afterwards, like the model arc. Oh, gosh. The model arc was insane. Because Daniel decided to go to a agency to help his friend Duke get in. Later on, he realized that he didn't even need to be there, because Duke was fine as he was. But, jeez, the CEO was fucked up. Because he decided that he couldn't deal with this female model anymore, or idol. So he had his brother pretend not to be his brother, trick her into pretend to trick him into grabbing a loan out so she can start her own fucking company. And that put her in a hole, because if she didn't do a nude shoot, as she soon realized when she was at the shoot, she was in the hole for a lot of money. And if she didn't do the shoot, she would owe them so much money that she would be working for them for the rest of her life. And that, it was insane. Plus, we finally figured out who's Crystal's. And plus, when somebody's, I don't know if this happened on camera. I don't think this happened on camera. But we found Crystal's other form. Because I figured that there was going to be... Because I figured that one girl was Crystal, like the older, beautiful one. Or older looking, I should say. I figured that was her because a person who has Crystal Choi as their character said, I named my account after a character in Lookism. And then the girl came up. I was like, so that must be Crystal Choi. Then I see her in her other form going into the school, saying that her name was Crystal Choi. I immediately thought, she's just like Daniel. No wonder. Because I figured there was... And honestly, I don't know if this is true yet, but I have a theory. Because for all I know, the father is the reason why they are like this. Like, why Daniel and Crystal have two bodies that their consciousness switches between. Because for all I know, this was an experiment. And then maybe something got snuck out of the lab by somebody who felt pity for Daniel and gave him that body. I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure. But, the whole, thing with them, it was funny as shit. So, little Daniel and little Crystal love each other. Like, Daniel and Crystal legitimately love each other in their little forms. Of course, they don't know that they are also the same as them in the sense of having two bodies. So, in their more, prettier forms, they want to stab each other. Which, honestly, is how all romances go. I'm not even kidding. In anime, there's a lot of romances that start with a female or a male trying to kill the significant other. And then they end up falling in love. It's weird, but it's funny. Plus, in the Stalker arc, which was fucking creepy, she figured out that the lady was actually telling the truth because the Stalker figured out that he had two bodies, but she didn't know how he transferred consciousness. She thought she knew, but she was completely wrong. She figured out that she was the same as her when she said that he had two bodies. It was just freaky. She was insane. So now I'm going to talk about the Stalker arc, by the way. Jeez. So she convinced herself. It was sad because all she ever wanted was love, and that's kind of sad. I will feel bad for her about that. But the way she went about trying to get it was, oh, she fucking went crazy. She originally ran into Daniel. Like, the first time Daniel actually saw her was on the street. He passed out. When he was passed out, she took the key to his apartment and unlocked it. And for the next couple of episodes, she was secretly there. Like, whenever he was gone, she was there. Or she was just always hiding. Probably in the bathroom. Oh yeah, she was hiding in the bathroom, duh. And, she cleaned his shit. Like, she cleaned the room. Except when she cleaned the dishes, she did it with her damn tongue. Which was all kinds of creepy and wrong. I mean, holy shit. Not only that, when she saw, small Daniel, she was about to stab him. She was gonna kill him. And that freaked me out like hell. Plus, later on they figured out that this was definitely a stalker and that she had access to his house. And they told Daniel, the girls, Zoe and Crystal. And then he immediately opens, like, the door and shit, and she's not there. She's gone. Or at least, he thinks she is. She never fucking left. She was under the counter. Like, when he actually discovers her hiding spot, there's diapers, and that's fucking creepy. She was waiting to kidnap everybody, or, like, to launch her big plan when her license came in to carry a taser, which surprised me. and made me go, seriously, what the fuck? So while she was like under the counter for like a couple days, mind you, she saw Daniel switching between bodies constantly. Except he was only using the method of waking the other body up by slapping it in the face. And that's what she thought was what made him switch bodies. She threw Daniel's original body in her actual house, which was an hour away from where he was, from where his actual house is. And that was freaky. Plus, when he got back to his bigger form, he didn't know where he was, and he couldn't have any way of knowing. He only figured it out when he was in his smaller form, and he went back to his house, which was where it was. She completely redecorated the inside of Daniel's house with photos, like photos of her and him cut out so that it looks like they're a couple. She convinced herself that they had become, that he was her fiance, and that they were about to get married. She legitimately convinced herself, or she was trying to convince herself, that she had actual memories of romance with Daniel. And that they were married. Which was creepy that entire arc was creepy. Just like the cult arc, it just gets creepier and creepier with every arc. Also, Troubled Transfer was also a very interesting arc. I will say that. Logan Lee digivolved. Damn. But the Stalker arc did have one thing good that came out of it. Crystal and Daniel they realized that they treated each other poorly in those forms, and were willing to admit that they did so. And that felt sweet. Of course, ever since then, she's been trying to figure out whether what that crazy lady said is true. Because she's like that, so someone else being just like her isn't that far out of the ballpark. Excuse me. Plus, she started piecing things together, which was interesting. And then the Troubled Transferred arc. This is all what I remember of the story, by the way. There's probably a couple arcs that I'm missing. But... the fucking cult arc. So the story of that one was... It was Zach, Mira's, and another kid's backstory. And it was sad. The other kid, his mother was blind. All of them except for Zach was religious. Like, they had a faith. But the mom had lost her eyesight, and she felt like God had forsaken her. The priest took this to use that to his advantage, and used that and hallucinogenic herbs to form a cult around Dog God. And then at the camp, he'd convinced the the son, the actual other kid, that he was not, that this was his first time there. Like, he convinced him that he had no idea this was going on. But he didn't know that the other kid's mom had invited Zach and Mira to come along with them. They're at the bizarre camp. They were killing people. They were serving them to the dogs. They were putting them on crosses. It was freaky as hell. Especially when apparently the bell rings, they start slamming their heads into the ground. Eventually, they escaped. Everybody was fine, except all the adults had to go through detox. Because they had to get the drugs out of their system. The mother had then completely lost all of her eyesight. But she knew that she had taken the wrong path and that she was being lied to. Which was good. But she never saw her son again. She never knew that he was actually visiting her because he couldn't tell. He was visiting, making her think that it was Zach. And the arc ended, like, in present day, with him posing as Zach and her asking him to help her put up missing posters for him. And that was sad. He was crying. But this is the fucked up part that I have no way of understanding. He made a gang. And he named the gang Dog God. And the logo for the gang, he has one of the dogs from that thing, too. He has one of the dogs from the fucking experience. And that was weird. I just couldn't make sense of that until there was like that split second where he was like, I need to get money, and it showed the mother. So he's only doing this so he can raise money, probably to get his mother treatment for her eyes. It's so sad. But the logo for the whole gang was the weird spiked cross in a dog's mouth. The spiked cross that they found a dude dying on. Not only that, he was about the priest. When the boys actually found her, like they actually got to him, the priest was about to rape her. I honestly don't know if half the rest of Lookism is safe for YouTube. Like, if YouTube will let us have it on there. Because of, well, those arcs especially, because they were just, oh my word. They just got more horrifying as they went along. Oh geez, almost 30 minutes? Jeez. Well, I mean, a lot happened, so... But the cult arc was the last arc that happened. And... honestly, I am still very, very invested in this series. And I honestly wonder where it's going to go from here. I'm sure it is far from being over. Because for all I know, my adventures with Lookism has only just begun. Ugh. Also, there was definitely a lot more cute Jay and Daniel moments. Plus the logo change. There was a logo update, which I am definitely going to fucking use. But I guess that's all my thoughts for everything that you guys missed in the while I was reading Lookism by myself. So, and I will also leave you with this question. Do you guys happen to know, I honestly wonder if this is a thing. Like, if somebody has commissioned an MMD model creator to make a really good quality model for MMD of a character of a webtoon comic. I have tried to find this, and I haven't. But I wonder if you guys know for a fact if somebody has, and there is a model of a character somewhere out there on the internet. Because if so, that'd be cool as shit. I mean, granted, I'm gonna figure it's probably not Unordinary. It's probably not Lookism. It's probably one of the other ones that have been on the site for way longer. Probably a Noblesse model, if I had to say. I don't know. I want to see if you guys know anything. So, live long and prosper. Always volunteer as tribute. And peace out. I hope you all have a really good day. And I'll see you guys next time. In probably a Lookism reaction video. Woohoo!